Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Gwendolyn Show. I meant the Sister Wives show with your host, Gwendolyn Brown, and we will be watching season 17, episode 16. This time I was smart enough to skip to the part where it actually starts.
Did you know there was a moment in the past where he thought about reconciling?
Oh God, not the freaking Rice Krispie treats again.
And that Christine found out about it and balked at a reconciliation.
Oh.
I never knew about that moment with him and with Christine until you just told me.
Did he make it up?
I was willing to see the error of my ways.
He said, I had a really detailed dream, and it made me very upset with Christine.
I expressed that to baby,
it's okay.
Mary and I can work it out, maybe. And it just rattles Christine.
Just rattles it with Christine. She would never want me to have a better relationship with the woman in my life.
And there's something in their relationship that Christine went, I can't do that.
Oh, he told you?
He told me.
That's what I was told too.
Mary, the supposed victim of this situation, doesn't even know about it.
I didn't know this was connected to it, but I guess she was falling apart. I feel so bad. I don't want to talk bad about her, but I just saw her kind of flipping out, and I didn't know what it was about.
Do you think if Christine didn't object, they would have reconciled?
Yeah, because when Cody says and thinks that type of stuff, it usually happens.
Wow. That could have changed the whole trajectory of Mary's life.
Yeah. It sucks, right?
Robin doesn't even know what happened. Robin doesn't even know that this is a real thing. She's like, yeah, suddenly it's Christine's fault that they're not together. I just learned about this.
That's frustrating and offensive. There's no way I would not support him and Mary having a great relationship. He just doesn't know me. He would say that and spread that lie is what's frustrating.
I don't know if it was intentionally spreading a lie. He might have had a very detailed dream.
She actually feels that she would never stop a reconciliation between you and Cody.
Now here's the real part. What does Mary think?
That's nice to know that that's how she feels.
Yeah.
It's curious that Christine doesn't remember anything about it.
And neither do you.
I literally have no idea.
Yeah.
You know, Robin does remember it.
Interesting.
No, Robin remembers the supposed aftermath. The only person that remembers is Cody. This is completely made up.
It was a moment that he wanted to.
It's a little heartbreaking to me because I have spent a lot of years full of hope and figuring myself out and becoming a better person.
Period. Good for you.
He actually said those words to me that that's not good enough, but it also is what it is.
So do you get to sit with all this and then you get to decide to walk away?
I think Cody's already decided, and I love him, and he has chosen not to love me.
Oh my God. That is so painful to think about. I just can't even imagine how much, heartbreak she went through. Whew. Just ignore that. It was a moment of weakness.
But there are times when this family gets together, there is such happiness.
I don't regret anything.
I love that for Janelle. Me too. We had a beautiful, lovely family.
When he looks at you with those eyes, you are the most important person in the world. You are loved.
Ooh.
Because we all know those eyes. And you know that they are only for you in that moment.
It's really giving angel eyes, because it is not only for her in that moment. Oh my God, I remember that. I need to watch that episode again. Damn it, we used to be so cute. I'm gonna rewatch everything, and I'll probably cry every single episode. I was like, nostalgia.
Did you like seeing the clips from the past?
Yeah. I'm a little bit, I'm like, okay, hold it together, Janelle, hold it together.
Literally me.
We let a lot of differences of opinion really divide us, in a very deep way. All those memories, and you're like, that was real.
That was real. I've heard that a lot of people think that it wasn't real and that it didn't happen and it was just for the camera, but actually, it was a really happy childhood from what I remember. Or at least when the show started and we finally, had the money to do fun things.
And we're in plural marriage at this young age, and we're establishing a family that I don't really know how to establish. We're not living our lives. We're living something else.
Right.
They all have good things to say about the past except for him.
And so I'm bringing a wife into somebody else's house. Might as well be bringing her into the other wife's bed. It's just weird as hell.
She didn't even ask a question about that. He was just hoping to complain, I guess.
I'm in an established relationship with somebody that I don't even get along with, and then I bring somebody else in.
Me too. Oh my God, me too, Suki. She was like, what are you going on about? Oh my God, nobody asked a question about this.
This was happening from the day after me and Mary had our honeymoon. We were in the storm.
If you go back to the first episode of the show, he does say that Mary is the love of his life, above all the others. So, I I don't know.
We really did struggle.
How did you guys butt heads? Was it over raising children? How to run the household?
Everything. I remember, it was which detergent should
Yeah.
we use?
Yeah.
Should you put oranges in the fridge or not?
It's so interesting to me that it's all polarizing for them.
She's just really confrontational. The kitchen was an issue when we all shared the same kitchen.
When they say her, are they all complaining about Mary?
You know, what time we cooked, what we cooked, if we didn't clean up well enough. Oh my God.
Wait, this is a hate fest.
It was very stressful.
And this was Mary, right? Who wanted everything kind of that way.
Yes.
This entire time they've been just complaining about Mary. Wow. That's the tea.
And the stress was so much. It took me over the edge, and I'm like, I'm done with you. I'm done.
Okay, last episode, it looked kind of sucky. This one, like, I'm actually getting some juice and some beef, and I'm loving that. A little bit more than I asked for.
See, I think Coda remembers it in a way that works for him to remember it.
Ooh.
Yes, there was conflict, but there were really good times too.
Was the struggle that was going on between Mary and Janelle the reason why Christine was brought in to sort of...
No, Christine basically asked to be in the family.
But your faith propelled you to do this.
I think so. I think she did ask. She had the opinion that being the third
She's basically royalty in our church.
wife was the best royalty. I remember this.
I look back and it wasn't fair for me to go, oh, this will make me cool in our church, you know?
So was your ego.
Yeah.
Oh, I was a polygamist. It's all ego, baby.
This past year has been difficult to say the least. This meltdown, how did you expect them to take it?
Oh, hard, because I was changed.
And that's kind of what happened. So
I know.
let's take a look at what happened.
Oh, yay.
It wasn't about the family.
Oh, God.
It was about the man.
This is like the 50th time I'm watching this one clip.
Are you interested in some sort of trying to work stuff out? I think for right now, I need space.
This might be the first time Robin's like seeing this clip over where she says, just right now.
I have seen her non-acceptance of Robin.
Robin might be absorbing the information that she was emphasizing the right now part.
And I have seen her disdain for me through the years. I'm glad to know where she actually stands.
She's treated you like dirt from the very beginning. That's the relationship you have with her.
I knew it. I totally knew he would start nodding. He's like, yeah. He said, that was a powerful line.
Man, just the knife in the kidneys.
I just don't know how any of them didn't laugh. I feel like I would have such a hard time in this situation, like not smiling or crying, honestly. It could go either way.
Wasted.
Yep, see? Janelle's hiding a smile there. She said, can you fast forward? God, I remember this scene. I could probably like recite it myself at this point.
She did this.
I didn't try to
I
eat that.
don't get that.
I think it's emotion.
Your buddies are allowed to hug. Oh my God, I swear to God. Just, it's over. It's over now. We don't need to watch this scene again.
How were you able to remain so calm during this time?
Oh my God, finally. Holy shit. I blocked it out.
He hasn't yelled like that before.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do.
At you.
How did you feel when he said all those things?
So shocked.
I've been yelled at like that before.
I didn't know that I'd been shunning Robin like Mary said I was.
I'm so excited to do the recap because like nobody's gonna be able to gaslight me about anything that happened in the family. I'm gonna be like, actually, season 12, episode 3.
It's like, listen, you get to a point where you start realizing who you can trust.
So who do you trust?
Robin,
Well, I think that's obvious.
Then say it.
I trust you, Suki.
God, that'll start just pissing me off. We can discuss that another time.
Okay.
What the hell just happened?
He points to Robin and he says, I've seen the non-acceptance of Robin time and time again.
Yeah.
And you said you've seen that.
I've seen that with Christine.
So now I'm just wondering if I'm just very biased because Mary's saying, yes, there has been bias and like rudeness and
But I also get that she, through those years, was just craving some attention and some love that she wasn't getting. I mean, he
Okay, wait.
said it.
now I'm seeing a different perspective from Mary where she's agreeing with my mom's
It's
side.
like it was a sacrifice to love her. No wife wants to hear that.
Well, she's just feeling jealousy then, and it's not cruelty. Okay. Because from my perspective, she wasn't mean. My mom as in wasn't mean.
Has Christine treated you badly?
In the beginning, it was very difficult, but no, I'm not sitting here.
Yeah.
Other than the walls that I'm dealing with her.
So Robin's also saying that my mom wasn't particularly rude. So while it's not nice and it's kind of bullying, it's also valid because this random player is joining your game, and I mean, you want things to continue to go the way that they're going. And my dad's here saying that my mom was this terrible monster person, and the other three are saying, like, yeah, I mean, she had her issues, but she wasn't bad.
Robin brought that up. Robin was sitting there cap in hand with Christine, and I'm like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
So I was like, Robin, you stop groveling, because Christine's never going to love you.
They're all saying he's wrong.
Cody shared with me a story that there were moments where you were bad-mouthing, not being a very good sister wife.
That doesn't make you a bad sister wife. You gotta complain about something. They're not perfect. Expecting her to be perfect 24/7 and like never have any complaints is ridiculous.
If I was frustrated with someone, I would be like, oh, they did this, and it's very frustrating. He did the same thing.
Yeah.
He would
So you're saying
complain
he's guilty of complaining
Yes,
about
he
the
would
other wives
complain
too?
about the other wives too. Not Robin. He never complained about Robin.
When did you realize that he did not find that attractive anymore?
No, I didn't know until right now that that's what he was talking about when he was saying I was being mean. Me just venting to him is what he's talking about, that I was mean to my sister wives.
Because he's a master manipulator. What's she supposed to do? Sorry, I shouldn't have said that about him, actually. He's just fine. He's just a dude, it happens.
Is it just that it doesn't work anymore for her? Christine is a different person now. And
Absolutely, and I'm fine with that. That she's like, listen, I'm not a fit here, I gotta move on. But what she's actually doing is broke my baby's heart. I don't respect him. Coward. Picks favorites. I don't respect him. Name it. She's been talking me.
All of these are good reasons to not respect somebody, though. So I don't know whose side he's on anymore. He said, yeah, I did all of those things, and she disrespects me. The math is mathing.
But to assuage her guilt, she has blamed me for everything. Combined with COVID issues, those relationships have been pulled away from me. And I get it. She needs to do that so she can find another man who will trust her. Because if she leaves a good man, most guys are going to go, this is risky.
He really said, I'm a good guy. Like before, I was like, oh, my dad's not like being such a great person. And now watching this, I'm like, that's my father? I do not like the way he's talking or behaving this and claiming things happened when they didn't. It's wild to me. He's like a totally different person.
let's talk about the goodbye. Christine's truck is packed.
Oh, yeah.
But before she goes, McKelty wants to say goodbye to everybody. And
Oh, God.
The way everybody was standing on different sides of the,
Yeah.
the patio, it felt very much like, here's the division.
let's take a look back at some of those moments.
Oh, God, I bet this look back is going to take 3 hours.
I think this is probably something that's one of the hardest things that this family is going to have to go through. At the end of this
Obviously.
all, we are still a family.
Only me, okay?
I can't get over this scene. Like, we all know, like, the whole issue with it, with him, like, him hugging, and he's the only one allowed to cross the line. And why only him?
Thank you for coming. Hey, it means a lot to me that you came.
What's happening? And now Truly just touched my mom, and my mom's touching Janelle. And now, boom, they both got COVID. Just hug everybody. Let Ariella hug her sister. Oh, God, this is all painful. They just, like, stood there and stared at her cry.
I felt like, and McKelty saw it. Now I'm like, you know what? We really needed it, no matter how awkward it was.
Yeah.
There had to be a place where it was like, okay.
You'd feel like to hug Christine at that moment.
I know I'm not a huggy person,
Yeah.
but she just needed a hug. I don't know how to explain it. Like the emotion comes through.
They're soulmates.
So I think we were all doing the best we could.
That was nice of her to say.
That aerial view is just so telling, right?
It was because of COVID still.
Right, and that's why my dad hugged Truly.
But it's hard because it's like, I'm standing there with the knowledge that Christine doesn't want a relationship with me or my kids.
You saw the scene where she said right now, and you're still saying this.
I don't know why am I saying goodbye if she doesn't want, no matter what, like, I was still there.
We've talked a lot about the family divide, but goodbye is goodbye.
Yeah, it's the end of an era.
I don't even think it was intentional.
I'm curious, it seems like you guys are closer now than you ever were when you were sister wives. What do you think about Cody being upset about that?
Either he was oblivious and not paying attention, which is possible,
And likely.
or he's conveniently seeing it one way.
What kind of guy do you think she'd eventually be interested in? You know her better than anyone.
I think she wants someone who really just cherishes her.
Do you think she has a physical type, out of curiosity?
Ooh, Suki.
He's some character from a video game that they made into a movie.
Oh my god, Duratan.
Duratan is an orc.
It's Duratan. Stop. Oh my god, not the picture.
The first time you meet him, well, he's a warrior, but he's looking at his wife with so much love and so much, and he would do anything for her. And I just want that kind of love, Suki.
God.
But who would be a celebrity crush? Who's your type, Christine?
Why? Why? She said Duratan.
Shamar Moore.
Ooh.
Definitely.
Oh my god, not the
Shamar
pictures.
Stop it. Stop it.
You're not throwing him out of your bed.
Stop it.
God, I can't believe you just said that. Stop it. Oh my gosh. So, just someone who treats women well.
What the hell just happened?
Do you think you and Christine can ever get to a happy place?
It's really dependent on Christine.
Yeah.
Like, I want real relationships with all of these ladies. I always have, all the time.
What is it zooming in on?
Because they took it away. They took it away from me.
Was it just me or were there like no tears?
Do you feel scapegoated by the sister wives?
Yeah, all the time.
I can see why.
I jokingly refer to myself as Cody's whipping boy. He does something they don't like, I get blamed.
Okay, for a second I was like, is Cody the one blaming you?
You know, let's talk about, your relationship with Robin. She respects you. She talks about how she respects the marriage and your covenant that you have with each other. What is your relationship? How do you describe your relationship with Robin? Do I have time?
No, I'm not going to talk about her.
You don't want to talk about her?
No.
Is it over? What the hell just happened? That was so fast. I feel like it's so much different from the last episode because that one was so boring. And I was like, oh my god, that's such a good point. And then they didn't go into it at all. And I was like, this is a good conversation to have. Okay. I'm a little confused on that because she's like, Robin has this beautiful, she's saying that you have this beautiful relationship. And my dad's like, I'm not going to talk about that. And I'm worried if they had like a fight this morning because this seems like a bad time. Because usually my dad's like, Robin's the most perfect person in the world. And now he's like just completely silent on the subject. And I feel like this would be a great opportunity to express how much he loves and adores her and try to convince people to feel the same way about her that he does. He's choosing to be silent. It makes me wonder, it makes me think like, what happened in that situation to make him feel this way? Oh my goodness. That like story my dad, I don't know if he made it up or like what happened about it, but from my mom's perspective, never happened. From Mary's perspective, never happened. From Robin's perspective, all she knows about it is the aftermath when Mary was later at her house and she didn't know, and Robin saying that like she didn't know it came from this argument, but maybe it did. And apparently that's enough proof that it happened for my dad. He's like, oh yeah, Robin was like in that position as well. So she understands. And it feels completely made up. And like, I get it that like maybe he had a weird dream and he's like convinced that it's real because I've been in that moment. But they've just been going on about that for like, it felt like 5 to 10 minutes where they were just stuck on that conversation. And like, why are you not allowed to complain about your sister wives? Like, that's just the craziest thing to me because you have to vent. And especially to the person that's like the most nearest and dearest to your heart, like the other person to vent to. Like, that's like an emotionally stable situation. And like, if you were to vent to your best friend about how much you hate your spouse or something, or you probably shouldn't hate your spouse, actually. That's like therapy time. But like, if your spouse didn't take out the trash the other day and you're like, oh my god, he didn't take out the trash. Like, my mom's allowed to complain about when Robin's such and such, and she's allowed to, he can't say that she's a bad sister wife. And Robin was like, yeah, it didn't seem like it was anything crazy, especially not recently. It just seemed like it was like initially, and when we put it up, we can assume it was jealousy. Like, jealousy is bad and bullying is bad, but she wasn't this terrible person who treated her like garbage. And Janelle and Mary both had the same point to say, that she wasn't like really terribly cruel, but like everybody has a little bit of snark now and again. That goodbye scene, so awkward. Cannot believe. I'm still shocked that Robin and my dad were like convinced that it was because of COVID, because we all see him crossing the line to hug Truly. And it just feels like cognitive dissonance that he is the only one allowed to go over. Really weird. Also, that moment where like Suki and my mom were gossiping about like her dream guy, I'm not gonna lie, that was a really clever moment for like marketing and stuff, and that was like a cute moment for like people to relate, like, ha, boys and stuff. And I thought that was so adorable. I thought it was hilarious that they used the pictures of Duratan and Shamar Moore. That is just insane to me. I cackling inside. Such a funny moment where they're like gossiping and all of a sudden there's a picture as well, and like Duratan, like that's embarrassing, and she's like hee 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 hee. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, watch World of Warcraft. Like obviously it's cringe, but it's based off of a video game, so what would you expect? And yeah, my mom's totally in love with him, and she does have a figurine. But I adore this episode so much better than the last one, where the last one was like, once again, going to a point, slipping away from it, going to a point, slipping away from it. Because like there were so many moments, where I was like, get into that, that's so interesting, and like I want to hear more about it. And it makes me kind of excited for the next episode. And like if the last one was like and this one's like really good, what's the third one gonna be? I've got high expectations. I'm like, what's gonna happen? It's gonna be exciting, it's gonna be terrible. And I'm a little excited for that. Okay, all right, questions have been collected. I gave my patrons a little bit more time to ask these questions than last time. And also I took my bun out because it was bothering me, so ignore the bun hair. And we have a few more questions than usual. So Rachel Montgomery says, how come Robin does not hold Cody accountable for anything? And plus examples. At this point, I could honestly see Robin as part of like the issues we have with my dad, like as an instigator. So I don't know if she would want to hold him accountable, but that's my theory. Kimberly says, can you please possibly tell us the exact reason Robin always had to have a nanny? Is she sickly, lazy, etc.? No idea. Genuinely, none of the reasons I've ever come up with make any sense without being offensive, and I'm trying to avoid that. Laura, family drama and weddings are hard. True. Do you see your dad, Robin, and her kids being able to joyfully come together with you, Beatrice, and the rest of your family to celebrate your wedding day? So my dad and Robin and all those kids are invited, but I don't know if they'll want to come. It seems like we've kind of been like shunned from him. And I don't think he wants anything to do with the rest of us. I really hope they do come. I terribly miss my siblings. Jennifer says, did you feel like the host of the show didn't press hard enough on some issues with your dad? I think the main concern of the host is keeping her job, and if you want to keep your job, it's best not to anger the talent. So when my dad like insisted that he didn't want to answer some questions, her, decision not to press was probably smart. I do think there were a lot of points that should have gone further into that some of the parents made and she kind of ignored. I would have loved that, but I don't think that there was much she could do. Pam says, Robin is going on and on about what your mom's divorce is taking away from her, not caring about your mom's pain or the rest of the family's pain. Do you think Robin really wanted a family, or do you think she just wanted Cody and to be taken care of? At this point, honestly, it feels like sometimes her intentions were just self-preservation and to keep her kids safe and comfortable. And I would say that if that was her intention, she succeeded. Kayla Sparks says, my question, do you think you will ever reconnect with Cody, Robin, and their children? I hope so much that I do. I miss my siblings so much, and I hate that I never get to see them. And, anything is possible, and I really hope we get to. You're such a wonderful person. I wish the most positive things for you. Thank you, Kayla Sparks. You're a wonderful, beautiful angel, and I appreciate your kind words. Okay. Linda Deek says, how does it make you personally feel when your dad talks ill of your mom? Have you ever spoken about his negative comments to him? If so, what was his reaction? Did he apologize to anyone that he spoke negatively about? I find it offensive and hypocritical that he doesn't allow us to talk ill of Robin. And when I ever have confronted him about it, he tends to claim that he never said something. So, doesn't go so hot. Laura says, Cody blames Christine's divorce for a strained relationship with many of the kids, and Janelle, is this fair? So he has expressed before that he thinks that my mom has been like whispering in the kids' ears and convincing them to be distant from my father, and that's not the case. It was actually us, like while she was still with him, who chose to separate herself from that. So no, not fair. Deb says Robin fake cries about how she's angry that the big polygamist family she wanted was taken from her. Why is it then that she doesn't have all the kids over for big get-togethers? You mentioned at one point that you hadn't been in their home in years. What the heck? It doesn't make sense. It's definitely ironic, but it looks to me that Robin just has different rules and expectations for how she would like people to behave in her home. And surprisingly enough, we all have personalities and opinions, and we're not as easily controlled as she might prefer. Lisa Jones has a big thing, and I read it earlier. I'm not sure if this is a statement or a question, but I understand it as the family blames one sister wife when they're mostly all to blame, and Mary got the worst end of the deal, and Cody is trying to blame people for what everybody is to blame for. And what do you, Gwendolyn, think about this? And why do you, Gwendolyn, think the adults aren't admitting this is a bad way to think? And I think this is a really profound point, and short answer, I think it's just because they would have to admit fault, and we are a very prideful family, and we are not the kind of people who would like to admit fault. Michelle Denny, it has been said that in polygamy, when a wife leaves, she is shunned and blamed. Do you think this is what your dad and Robin are doing? Is this why your dad was so upset that Janelle didn't distance herself from your mom? Thank you for all your insight. You are so enjoyable to listen to. Oh, stop, Michelle. Thank you. This is the first time I've heard about this kind of shunning thing, so I don't know. But I think subconsciously this could be like the reason they're behaving like this. But again, I don't know if they've heard about it or something. But, you know, it could be definitely a reason that this is happening. They might not be intentionally shunning according to custom, but maybe. Definitely, perhaps. Ironically enough, we don't know a lot about polygamy. Rich Murray has a question. Would you tell us something really, really like or enjoy about each of your moms, but it has to be something silly or frivolous or fun? So I wasn't going to answer this question for the video because it didn't really seem relevant, but it got a lot of likes, so I guess I was very wrong. So Mary directed a polygamous parody of Twilight with the adults starring in it. You'll never see it though, but it's amazing. Janelle collects Western decorations, and she actually knows how to decorate with them. My mom does a nearly perfect impression of Snow White, and Robin can tell your zodiac very easily with just like quick conversation. So I think those are fun. Then Elizabeth B asked a few questions, and these 4 were the most popular. So why can't Cody say it's annoying to everyone that Robin has the least years of experience in this plural family, but she always speaks like she's the expert on all family matters? I'm not Cody, so I don't know, but I guess love makes you blind. She says, does your dad go out in public less now due to the annoyance of being recognized? Not that I know of, but he does intentionally sit in the back of restaurants when he goes out to eat so that he won't be recognized. Would Christine ever write a book about her journey from Mormon polygamy to secular monogamy, since the show only superficially covers her odyssey? She's never talked about it before, but when we lived in Utah, she was an English teacher, so she's definitely capable. And Robin says she's mourning the big family she fell in love with when she was courting Cody. Did Cody deceive her by hiding deep issues in the family? I don't think so. Looking back, all of our cards were on the table, and everything that you see on the camera is everything that was happening was a very accurate representation of the kind of family we had. So what Robin was getting and what you guys are seeing is the same thing. There were like issues, but we were genuinely a very loving and happy family. So her disappointment is pretty valid. So those are big questions. Hopefully I answered any questions that you have. If you didn't, feel free to leave them in the comments below, ask them, and hopefully they'll be included. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. It was much better than the last one, in my humble opinion. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe if this is the kind of content you're interested in, and I will see you next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.